Well, welcome back to another edition of Inside Anderson Raptors Athletics here on AndersonRaptors.org and ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports. I'm Jason Griefer. As always, Chris Newton joining us here to talk all things Anderson Raptors athletics. We've got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to jump right into it. Let's jump onto the diamond with your baseball team and getting a couple of nice wins over the weekend against Walnut Hills. So you sweep that series there, sweep a two-game set there. You've got two with Loveland coming up this week. And we look at the ECC standings, and my gosh, with the exception of Winton Woods, everyone still has a shot at the league championship. We look at things right now. Your team's sitting at 7-6 right now in the league. Loveland's at 8-6. You have a whole host of teams just above you in the standings overall. You're 2 games out of first place, and yet so many teams in front of you between yourselves and first place. But again, a lot to be decided. So Loveland coming up first. Pretty darn big series right here. It could end up, with the way the schedule's shaking out, being one of those types of series where if you win both, you've still got a shot at it because you still got 2 against Milford coming. If it comes up short, probably knocks you out. Pretty big series.
Yeah, you're 100% right. This is, this is a huge week. This is going to be deciding when we have, We have Loveland Monday, Wednesday. I think we have Kings Thursday and Milford Friday.
Milford Friday and then Milford next Monday.
This is enormous. So, you hate to put a little extra pressure on on kids at times, but this is it right here. I mean, this decides where you're going to go. But you are correct. We take today, we stay in the hunt. We take Monday and Wednesday, we put ourselves in a great position. So, I'm just really happy to see how well we played last week. On Wednesday versus Walnut Hills, we were down 10-4, and things looked bleak, and something snapped, and they got after it a little bit, and came back and won that game, and then played incredibly well on Friday. Got the shutout, 5-0 shutout. So, we haven't played to the best of our ability. So I think it's exciting because, we're still in the hunt and we haven't really peaked. So hopefully this is a week that we do peak.
And it can go a long way towards the postseason draw, because that draw will be announced within a week's time. So it can really help you as far as seeding there goes for sure. Let's switch gears. Let's move on to your softball team. They know their draw. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, but really starting to swing the bats well as of late. We did the series against Winton Woods we talked about last week. You get a game this past Wednesday against Walnut Hills. You score 26 runs. The second game, you score 20 against them. And then this past Saturday, you go to Princeton and score 23 runs there against the Vikings. And so the bats are really starting to come around. You're getting some solid outings and some solid efforts from your pitching staff as well.
Oh, yeah.
But above all else, I got to think that's going to give them some confidence as they go into the postseason, and they're going to get Cole Rain to start off the postseason draw, knowing they can swing the bats right now as well as anybody around.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It comes down to Anna Owens does a great job, and when she's on and we're making plays, we're going to be in those games because we're going to swing the bat. We got, we got 4 seniors that can swing, and Olivia, G, Lily, and Katie, and then you got Vivian Johns, who it's like a beach ball coming in there to her. She's smacking everything around. Again, it's going to come down to us making plays out there defensively, and if we can do that, we're going to be able to keep teams to low scoring runs, because Anna does a good job making them put the ball in play, and we're going to be able to swing the bat. So I'm excited. This is going to be a great final couple weeks.
We look at the draw and the way things shook out, and as I said, you're going to get Cole Rain to start off the sectional. That'll come next Monday on the 9th of May. You win that one though, and you get the number 1 seed, Lakota West, and obviously they're always a strong program, and that'll be a tough challenge should you get past Cole Rain. Were you surprised by that draw there? Possibly getting Lakota West in round 2. What did you make of that, and also the prospects for your team to at least get out of the first round against Cole Rain?
Yeah, well, I think it's an awesome thing to win a tournament game, and so to see our first round to see it to be a winnable game. So a team that we're going to go compete against, the GMC squad, a team that traditionally is very good. So we're going to be able to go out there to Coleraine. We're going to be able to compete in that, and we can get a W. Winning a tournament game is awesome. Then you deal with what happens in the next round. But the first thing is focusing on that Monday, May 9th, winning that first tournament game. And Lakota West is Lakota West. There is no doubt about that, Jace. They are the cream of the crop. And so, we'll lace them up, we'll throw them out there, and we'll see what happens.
You'll get a real good litmus test there as well, because you're going to play Milford later on this week, and I've had a chance to see Milford a couple of times in person. That is a powerful squad that your team's going to have to deal with there. But again, you'll find out where you are if you're able to get to Lakota West when that time comes in the sectional draw. Switching gears, let's talk about track and field right now. Boy, a busy week they had within the last week, to be sure, touring around the ECC, most recently finishing up an invite over at Loveland. But now come back home once again. We talked about the Anderson meet you had about a week and a half ago. Now we got the Game of Throws coming up on a Tuesday, assuming Mother Nature allows it to happen.
Yeah, no, it was last week was a good week. We finished the week at Loveland. Brian Knatzer out there does a great job. So that was a lot of fun out there. They do one event, which is really cool, called the Throwers Relay. So that was pretty neat. You alternated between, I think, boy, girl. You had 2 boys, 2 girls of your shot put and your discus, the last event of the night. And then if you won that, the group got a pizza. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. It was really cool. Loveland did a great job with that. Brian Knatzer, he's a Superman. So we had our huge event, the Anderson Track Invitational last week. Now it's the Game of Throws. And so now, it's kind of strange because, unfortunately our discus and our shot put is a little walk away from the track. So, only the people that are associated with shot put and discus are the ones seeing that. Everyone else is kind of down, mingling around the track, getting ready for the running races. Tomorrow, the only show in town are the throwers. And we have some great throwers. Joe Walla, Cameron Beheimer, Dave, they do an amazing job of growing our program. I want to say, Jace, we had maybe, 6 or 7 a couple years ago. And we've got 20. We have over 20 kids in our throwing program. And it's such a credit to Joe Walla and what he does. The kids, he teaches them. He's a great coach, but they have fun. They have fun with each other. And so it's great, and we're going to be able to see Aid North. She breaks a record every time out. She just won Friday night. She won the discus and the shot put Friday night. So, our hopes are that she's going to be able to break both of her records here tomorrow. That would be awesome to see.
Not a bad problem to have there, especially to do it on the home surface there for sure. Do you get the sense that the athletes here get that extra bit of joy out of an event like this when they are the focus and it's not a combined event with the track athletes, that all eyes are on them? Do you get that sense that they give an extra sense, a bit of pride that this is about them?
Oh, there is no doubt about that, Jace. I mean, they're fired up for this tomorrow because, again, they are the show in town. So, again, they're kind of, unfortunately, they're isolated away. When we have practice, the runners are on the track and the throwers are up there. So, at a track meet, when the throwers are done, they come and they cheer. Bobby Stanyard and Brandon Philhauer and Cameron Mathis, our throwers, Emily Boehm and Aiden North. When they're done, they come and they cheer on the runners. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out that way for the runners to be able to go up and cheer on the throwers, just because of location. It's always a distance away from every place. And so, our runners will be there to support our throwers tomorrow. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We just hope Mother Nature cooperates. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, so hopefully in that same vein, Mother Nature cooperates as well on the tennis courts as in that same vein, because the tennis team's got a pretty important deal coming up on Tuesday as they try to go up and try and make some noise up at ATP for sure. But we look at the way things happened in the last week, and we talked last week about that the big showdown with Walnut Hills, and now that was going to determine the league champion in the regular season anyway. Well, Walnut Hills had the better of it that day. They took it to you pretty good, 4-1, in winning that one. So they're going to win the regular season title. But we look at also the way things went the rest of the week. You beat a good Lakota West squad 3-2. You hang in with an excellent Sycamore squad. They get you, but only 3-2 in that one. And we also look at the way things went last season, kind of a role reversal where last year Anderson won the regular season title, Walnut Hills won the tournament title. Now we've got a chance to do the opposite. We can flip the script on Walnut Hills and now go up and try and take the tournament title from them.
Yeah, that's the plan. That is the plan. And, we're getting here towards the end of the year. And again, the motto here is we're going to play the best teams out there. And that's what we did last week. That's for sure. And we challenged ourselves. And as you said, Walnut Hills got the best of us, and we'll learn from that. And we'll see them again, tomorrow. And that's the big thing. There's a lot of emphasis that's put on the ECC tournament. And so we go there tomorrow and we take care of business. We're coming off of the Coaches Classic. Tristan Stanek won the Coaches Classic over the weekend. Allie Daly competed very well. Ben Zhao, I'm a little nervous about. He got banged up a little bit, so hopefully he's back and ready to go tomorrow. But I think we can do some damage here tomorrow in the ECC tournament, and we'll see what happens.
Are they using that the way things turned out last year, kind of that role reversal, as some added motivation to say, hey, they did it to us last year, even though we won the regular season. Now we can pay them back.
Well, there's no doubt, because, last year when we're undefeated, we're super excited about it. And the same thing has happened to us in girls going undefeated, and Brent Johnson being the coach of both. He'll make sure they understand, hey, listen, that you finished the first part of the job. You still got a lot of the job left. And so now it is, like you said, it's a little bit of role reversal. Brent, I'm sure, telling our kids, hey, don't get too down, boom, we're coming right back. And if we play the way we know how to play and we get after it Tuesday, then we're going to have a chance to get back in that league championship talk. So yeah, like you said, it works both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still a very viable squad, no matter what happens up at ATP coming up for sure. Switching gears, let's talk about lacrosse, and let's start with the girls first. Kind of an up and down week this past week. Got a really nice win over McNick. Also went down into Kentucky and beat Notre Dame Academy. So you get a nice win over opponent there. Hang in really tough, I should say, with Assumption out of Louisville down there. So hanging tough with a lot of these programs. Loveland got the better of you pretty well last Thursday. Loveland's obviously a strong program. But coming up this week, you finish out the ECC slate with two very good teams, two of the three best teams in the league right now in Walnut Hills. And then Saturday, you take on Bartels Road in winding down the regular season before Princeton next week. So some mixed results here as of late. How are you feeling about the way they've played, particularly in the conference? And also, how are the girls feeling about their opportunity these last two games in the conference, knowing they're at home and they can really, mess with some things as far as the top of the standings go?
Yeah, and lacrosse, what I have found out in working with lacrosse here in boys and girls, and this is across the city, there's a lot of games that are decided by a lot of goals. You might have a 10-2 game where you lose 10-2, you win 10-2. There's very few of the games that are 10-8, 10-9. And those are the games that you got to focus on so much because, again, Loveland has just an incredible feeder program. And, unfortunately, like Mason or Milford and the boys, those
Yep.
teams, unfortunately, right now are better than us. Those programs are better than us. And they took it to us. We, on
Mhm.
the other hand, we're better than a lot of teams as well. We have taken it to some teams as well. But it's those games that are decided, the Lebanon games, which were played on a both night, where I think we won by 2 in the boys, and we won on a last second goal by the girls.
Mhm.
Those are the games that are going to decide the kind of year that we're going to have. And that's what this week is about. I think, we got Seton tomorrow,
Mhm.
like you said, and then Walnut, and then we got Bartels Road. So, I mean, those are games that we feel that we need to be able to go and compete at. And so I think our girls, after talking to Coach Hardiman on Saturday night, he was very pleased at the way we played down in Kentucky this weekend. He said, we in the first game, I think we won by 2, I think it was something like that.
Mhm.
And he
Yep.
said they played really well. In the second game, he said we just kind of ran out of gas, and we were winning there late in the game, and then kind of ran out of gas, and we lost by a couple. But
Mhm.
and that's when you go and you play a doubleheader like that. That sometimes happens when you don't
Yep.
have a lot of depth. And but he was super proud of our girls for the way they competed.
And that's what all you got to ask for it, especially at this point in the season, and especially on a day on Saturday, you're playing, back to back essentially.
Yeah,
Not a lot of time for rest. Players aren't accustomed to that, but nevertheless, still hung in very, very well with the always talented Assumption squad
yeah,
coming out of the Commonwealth for sure. Over on the boys' side, started to turn things around over the weekend. A couple of nice wins over the weekend. Seven Hills, McNick coming off of we talked about Loveland with the girls. Loveland boys also very good program there as well. So got a couple of wins, moving it back above 500 on the
yeah,
season, and 3 opportunities this week to finish above 500, not only overall but in the ECC as well. You've got it's intended to go to Winton Woods later on today, and then Wednesday and Friday host Walnut, host Bartels. All 3 of those teams are behind Anderson in the standings right now. So real good chance to finish potentially 5-3 in league play. It's a pretty big stretch for this team as well to finish not only 500 overall, but especially finish above 500 in the ECC.
yeah. And especially the way we started, if you recall, we played
Yeah.
we played Milford, that first game and lost 7-1 or 17-1. And then, we played Elder and lost 11-2. And as a new coach, you're like, people are doubting you and stuff like that. These guys, Matt White and Kyle Sanders, they've really gotten after it. This is a perfect week of exactly what we talked about. On paper, we should go out and we should beat Walnut Hill, or we should beat, Winton Woods tonight. On paper, we should do that. Okay.
Mhm.
What happens Wednesday and Friday is a different story. It's like we talked. There's those teams where they can beat us and we can beat them. So we're going to have to go out and we're going to have to compete very, very, very at a high level. And what we've learned throughout the year, and like you've said, you've brought it up. It was funny. I told Matt White that we kind of jinxed them the other day because we talked about the defense, how the defense had been doing a great job, and all of a sudden we gave up a bunch of goals to Loveland. I'm
Yeah.
like, whoops, sorry, Coach White there. But, we played very, very good defense, Friday night and Saturday. Austin Kroner, I think, had a Panera sandwich in the goal on Saturday. Our defense played so well. Austin Ritter and the boys, they played great back there defensively. So, we'll see what happens this week, but we keep playing good, solid defense. Good things are going to happen. I know Connor Casey played an incredible game on Saturday. He didn't score 100 goals, but what he did, he contributed in so many areas. Scored a lot of goals in the first half, and then he contributed in so many different areas. Luke Hurley had a ton of shots. Max McDermott threw in a couple rifle shots. So we're starting to click, and it's exciting because we're now at the nitty-gritty time here. So we got to beat the teams that we can beat.
And that's what all you can ask for is heading towards the right trajectory, the right time, and the peak at the right time of the
Yeah.
season. And it seems like that's where a number of your programs are headed right now. And as we're headed down the home stretch here on this program, and this is for us the final episode of the spring season. And so obviously still a lot of things to be determined, but as we've documented here today, everything seems to be on the up and up at Anderson, athletic wise, obviously academic wise, all these kids take care of business and then some in the classroom. So before we go here today, Newt, I just want to get your thoughts on how you felt this spring season has gone at Anderson, some things that have stood out, things maybe that can, be improved on in the future, and also maybe just this entire school year in general, especially because this is the first year essentially in 3 years where we've felt some kind of normalcy again. We've sort of been able to have a full schedule, haven't necessarily had to deal with, COVID pauses and things like that. And we're back to normal. How would you evaluate how everything has gone?
Oh, I think, and you've said it 100% correctly. It's just been so crazy these last couple years through. But we've made it. There's no doubt, and we're stronger. There's no doubt we're
Mhm.
stronger as a school from what we've gone through. And you got to remember, um, I joke about it a lot because I say COVID wasn't the hardest thing to deal with. The hardest thing to deal with was a mascot change, probably at times, because there's so much controversy on the outside of Anderson High School, but on the inside of Anderson High School, we're still all one, and we know that.
Mhm.
And so it has been a difficult ride through these things. But our kids and our families, we have great kids, great families that have tremendous support and trust in us here at Anderson High School, our coaching staff. Um, and so we're excited to see that the trajectory that we are on as we escape through the controversy that we've gone through and the difficult times that we've gone through. We've got some new coaches that started in this spring, baseball and lacrosse, and it's been great to see the trust in these coaches,
Mhm.
because we started out slow.
Yeah.
And when you start out slow, it's easy to jump on the bandwagon the other way, and our kids haven't. And that has been so refreshing to see. I think we just got voted top in the top 100 in academics in the school. So I mean, really, really, really good things are happening, and it's led by we got some good people that are running the show around here, and Kyle Fender. Um, and so we're excited about school. Our Hall of Fame got put back up, so we are excited about going into the summer, getting back to where we've been, and seeing where we can go from here on out. But we are excited, that is for sure.
And with good
And one
reason.
of the
With that,
things too, Jace, one of the things
yeah,
too, I want to let you
yeah,
know, and let
huh?
our viewers know that you know, we had a tremendous, as you can imagine, a tremendous amount of old uniforms and old signage
Mm-hmm.
that we've had to change over. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Patty Sneed has worked incredibly hard in getting all these materials organized. And so we now have an Anderson memorabilia auction going. And so that's been pretty cool, because the people have been reaching out to us. We want, gosh darn, you didn't get rid of that stuff, did you? I'm like, no. And they've been diving, calling us and stuff like that. So she has, on her own time, she has devoted has organized all kinds of things, uniforms and signs and banners and all that. So that's going on right now too. So it's exciting because people they want a piece of the history that we've gone on. And so it's pretty cool. One last thing I'm going to say is and I can't remember the exact words how he used it, but Andy Wolf put it the best at our Hall of Fame. He said, and again, the Hall of Fame, it was pretty much all, former Anderson High School Redskins. That's from the past. And he put it the best in the opening part of it. He's, a lot of us here have been Redskins. Some of us here are Raptors. And the great thing is that I'm very fortunate about is I've been a Redskin and both a Raptor. And so that, Andy Wolf is just the greatest thing in the world in my eyes and in everyone else's eyes. And to be able to bridge that together was incredible. And that's, that's over. Now we are proceeding on, as the Anderson High School Raptors, and that's the way we're moving on. And everybody knows that. And we're going in one direction. And that's the most important thing.
You put quality people in the right places and they're going to do quality things for you. And that's exactly what's going on inside the halls and on the track and on the field at Anderson High School. And it gives us a platform here to talk about some of those things that those good people are doing out there. Once again, Chris Newton, certainly appreciate the time and be looking forward to seeing how things progress over the summer.
Jace, I'm gonna miss you, man. I like every Monday morning here. I like it. I even got a new haircut for you today, man.
We do appreciate the slick getting all slicked up for the season finale here, but the fall will be here before everybody knows it once again, and it will be back on and fired up and ready to go. That's Chris Newton joining us once again here to wrap up the spring season here on the Inside Anderson Raptors Athletics podcast here on AndersonRaptors.org and ESP Media powered by Sidearm Sports.